Hi everyone. I thought I'd make a video response and oral response to the case study assignment. I chose Jaslinda. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Maybe I misunderstood. But I'm going to go through her case study and kind of talk about what I think I would do. So when I'm identifying the student need, I'm seeing that she could use maybe some math skills, obviously. And that might just be a little push in the right direction. I'd have to go a little deeper. Uh, she starts and stops a lot, so that says she does have some skills, but maybe gets lost in a longer question. She probably needs some problem solving techniques with some perseverance, just like adding to what she already knows. It seems like she's having fear of failure and some confidence issues by saying, like, I'm not good at math. And also maybe needs a safe space for her to work. A bunch of her behaviors are suggesting this, especially when she appears more engaged in teacher led examples. So once she has some basic guidance, she seems more comfortable. She erases frequently, meaning she thinks she has an idea, but is not confident in her thinking. And she's not sharing her thinking, so she doesn't want to be known as failing or seen as failing. She doesn't want to project that, and often waits for others to answer first. This is her often just not being confident in her own ability or being afraid to fail. That's what I'm seeing the most of. Diagnosing her issue, what mindset may be present. So once again, I'm seeing that confidence issue and that fear of failure. This might be, sometimes I see this in my practice, parents projecting their own abilities onto students. So oftentimes at home or coming from parents in meetings, I'll hear, well, I wasn't good at math or I'm not good at math. And the children overhears this and immediately processes it, internalizes it. Well, if my parents aren't good at math, how could I be good at math? Also, lack of maybe social skills and a lack of friendships. Because if she felt supported, if she felt like she had friends that backed her up, maybe she would be more open to sharing her thoughts and less afraid of that failure. She could also be, more confident, not afraid of what other people are thinking of her, even though this is probably a very difficult time, especially in adolescence, learning to not care. Um, The other thing I'm thinking of is maybe there might be a slight depression, or maybe that could be some mental health issues there, or realistically, the fear of failure can be quite present. Um, she only wants to answer when she's right, it might seem, or when she's 100% confident that she is right. So this could be a big piece holding her back. Immediate classroom supports. What would you do during this percent lesson? So during the percent lesson, I have a bunch of techniques I use that I'll go back over in my ongoing support plan. But one might be give a quick one-on-one guided lesson or help her work through part of the problem, um, and have her give part of the answer that she 100% knows, or part of the answer you've worked through together, so she has that confidence in that she is correct and won't make a mistake in front of others to start with. Um, One other thing I like to do is I do a phone a friend. I physically make them pretend to have a phone, dial the phone number, call their friend, say, hey, how's it going? And then this ensures that they don't have to give an answer, but they have to repeat the answer as if it was on a phone call from a friend. Also, this lightens the mood a lot because how often do you have to pick up, dial the phone number, the whole shebang, rather just than asking a friend and having to repeat. So I try to make it more fun in that way and more lighthearted. Um, the key there, I think, was presenting maybe a small part that she's done independently too. So if she knew the first step, break everything down into 20 steps. What were the 10 steps we did? What are the 5 steps we had to do? The first step is, and then ask her what was her first step? How did she achieve it? So that way she doesn't have to feel like she has to do the whole question. She can just present a part and everybody can build on each other, creating more collaborative workspace because then everybody's working together to do the same thing and building on each other's answers to make sure everybody is getting to the same spot. Um, yeah, so that would be what would you say to the student? So typically when I'm talking with the students, I like to give a bunch of different things. Um, Number one, I think, what give what you can, and like it's okay to not be right. Okay, it's okay to try. Would be a huge one, but probably the student wouldn't respond that well with that just yet. Um, Everybody has to be shown at some point, and then they learn. Even the smartest people in the world need to be shown. Everything's not innate. They're not all just come to the answer immediately. They have to have some education. They have to be shown it. And once you get shown it, and once you try a bit, you'll have it. So let's not worry about it. Asking for help is actually smart. Smart people learn to ask for help. Okay, because they know they can't do everything themselves, and there are people that have better skills at certain things than other things. All right. I know if I need help with Pokemon cards, I'm going to go talk to my brother who's a Pokemon expert, not myself. Right. If I need help in certain areas, other people are better at it than other people. And that's okay. Share your experience, share your expertise. Okay. So somebody might be better at math, but you might be better at gym or you might be better at language. So make sure you're bouncing off ideas with other students and sharing each other's expertise and learning from each other. That's a huge thing. It's okay to be wrong, but it's not okay to try, right? We have to install that. You have to try. Please try. Okay. I saw you wrote something down. Don't erase it. Let's look at it together. What did you do? How can we use this? Where are we thinking? What's our thinking about? And have that student maybe share it with the teacher first, so that way it's more of a safe space immediately. Look, I'm not going to judge. I just need to understand because I'm sure there's some good stuff here that we can pull out and keep building on. There's a lot of negative self-talk in this person, and they only answer when they're right. So we got to start to avoid that negative self-talk too. If they were to say during this part of the lesson, like, "Well, I'm not good at math," well, let's change that. I'm not good at math yet. Well, I'm learning how to do this, and it's okay to try and retry. Okay, you're not going to get everything on the first try. All right, so that's super important to just reiterate and stress in front of them. Uh, Instructional adjustments. How could we change this? So one thing would be providing flexible groups and working together. So making sure all the students, it's not always independent work. I like to build in the first 10 to 15 minutes of my math lesson. There's always one or two problems where if they're sitting in a small group, they can work as a whole group to get the answer. And are often encouraged not to have the same student always share their thinking, have different perspectives, everybody else put a part of the question together many different ways, but the big thing is have flexible groupings, have them allowed to do group work, have them allowed to share their thinking. um, have the students teach each other and then repeat what they've done. So have maybe somebody share their thinking in the group, but they're not the one that's allowed to present for the group. I find this one has a lot of good success because oftentimes, yeah, sure, maybe I don't know, but Joe does. Joe helps me understand, and then Joe's not allowed to present because Joe clearly understands. But hopefully, through Joe teaching me, I've now understood enough that I can present to the class our thinking or how we came to this conclusion. Another thing we can do is pre-give questions in advance to the student. So one technique I've used in the past is to give a student the question in advance. If I know I'm going to have it the day before or whatever, give the question to the night and go say, "Hey, go home, work on this tonight. Come in the morning, talk to me about it before you have to present." That way, the person can build confidence and has more thinking time and more time to get prepared, and they know it's coming, so it's not a shock, and they can really go out there and show what they do know. And they can come in a little early or ask a couple questions to make sure they feel confident in what they're about to present so they're not scared of that. Low risk entry points, I would always start with like slow scaffolding. So like phone a friend, give one small part of the question, don't answer the whole question. Something I like to try too, and I exemplify or I demonstrate, is a purposeful wrong answer. So I do give a wrong answer on purpose and ask, like, pretend I made a mistake. So that way, oh, and sometimes we just make mistakes. Sometimes we're going too fast. Sometimes whatever, we make a mistake. And when I make a mistake, I go, oh, yep, that happens. Happens to the best of us. You just got to fix it. No big deal. Go back and fix it. Also, what I might actually get the student to do is once they get more comfortable, is on purpose give a wrong answer. So they might have the right answer, but I want them to, on purpose, to show that it's not a scary thing, to show that it's a safe space, and if they get a wrong answer, it's not that big a deal. Okay. Oftentimes, too, I will have students present a wrong answer in class so that the other students have to figure out what went wrong. What were they thinking? How could they have done something wrong? Where did they make a mistake? So that way we can start to identify problematic thinking, things that we often make mistakes on just because maybe we were rushing, maybe we didn't understand. All right. And it also shows that the students have a better understanding of how it all works together. Because if they can pick up mistakes and why that mistake might have happened, it really shows true understanding of what's going on in the concept. Um, Change the self talk. So, really focus on in my class. I'm working on it. I'm learning. I'm trying. I can't get it just yet, but I'm working on it. Okay. I can, but I got to try. All right. These are some keys. And I often say a few things in my class, like cliche, but nothing worth doing is easy. So if it's easy, that means that it's not really worth your time because it's easy for you. So you got to put in effort into things. We grow when we work hard, fail, and try again. So that's when you grow the most, is when you're putting in effort, when you're trying your best, when you do something wrong and you go, what went wrong? How do I fix it? Okay, and oftentimes that leads to the best learning because if something comes to you quickly, you miss out on that perseverance, that resilience. But when you have to try, look at what you did. You learn from your mistakes. You also learn from the failure, and that you're probably not going to make the same mistake again. And I'm sure a lot of us have different life experiences where we've done this, not just in math class, but in a number of different ways. Uh, Ongoing support plan. So how would I make sure the student feels supported throughout the rest of their time? Number one, I always have the phone a friend available. Okay, so always pick up the phone, always call somebody if you're uncertain, if you're really nervous, but you have to give an answer. And typically it just means repeating what one of the other students gives you or helps you with. Small groups and small group instruction always helps well. Circulating around the room and knowing which students to kind of go to real quick, make sure they're on the right track, maybe give one hint, maybe give a little scaffolded answer with them. I often have a teacher table during work time at the back where it's more like, hey, pop up here, spend 2 minutes with me, we'll go over this. I do one with you, you show me you can do one, you can go back to your table and keep working on that idea. Um, Changing the language, so always reminding them when I hear negative self-talk or negative thinking, we change that language and try to think of a new way to say it so we can remind our brains, um, we can do it, because if you think you can and you think you can't, you're both correct, right? So we got to think we can. Some other things that I like to do throughout the year that I think would be beneficial with our classroom routines is I showed the famous failures video. And this has people like Einstein, Michael Jordan, um, Lincoln. It has a number of different people that have had uh, failures in their life and had to push past them to succeed and really use those failures to project them forward and keep them going. And it shows that we're all humans and that no matter how smart we are or how good we are at something, we all started at somewhere and needed to learn to get there. We weren't just amazing at it immediately. And my final thought, and the thing I like to always leave them with, and something I've learned over my time, is that if there is something you hate to do, chances are that's what you need to do more of. Because if you really don't like doing it, it means that you're probably not the best at it, and it means you really got to push yourself to keep trying to do it until you get comfortable with it and are okay doing it. For instance, if I hate going to the gym, first thing I like to do in the morning, get up, go to the gym. I don't like doing it, but I know it's good for me, and I know that's probably the reason I don't like doing it is probably because I need to do it the most. Same in math. If you don't like sharing your answer, unfortunately, the best thing to do is right away get up there and share your answer, whether you're right or wrong. I know it's a big, difficult step to take and leap of faith, but once you get doing that, it becomes comfortable and you can do it more often. So the things we hate to do are the things we need to do most. Thanks for listening to my answer. It's a little long there, but I really think I've covered all the bases and come to some good conclusions, I hope. Thanks for watching.